So take your pen and pencil out and let's go over Ra and Anubis, which is the fire and water sign. Because when you're traveling through astral, whether it be dreaming, meditating, you travel with certain archetype or energies, which is going to be Ra and Anubis for July 25th birthday. Like I said, grab your pen, take notes. So each sign is basically an archetype of some type of deity in ancient Egypt. So if you know your 12 sign and your 13 sign, then you know which one you are. So for you, you're Ra, which is Leo. I call Leo like a leopard. Doesn't change its spots. That's what I like. But the Leo is a lion. But lions be lion, right? And Leos could also be cheetahs, but cheetahs be cheating. So if you get a man, usually if they're a Leo, make sure they're a leopard, not a lion or a cheetah. Believe me, I know. So Ra, he had the sun disk on his head. This is Ra. It's like the sun energy. He has a head of a falcon. So this is hieroglyphics right here. Kind of looks like a record player and a microphone and like the record needle. And that empty eye, I call it like the psychic eye because it reminds me of Storm from X-Men. So I guess he's a very good psychic. That's what I would say if I could read hieroglyphic, and very good with music. So like anybody that, basically is born around this raw energy is very good with like the record on your head, playing music, getting energy across through planes of musical means. And also he has a sun disk inside a cobra resting on his head. So pay attention to the signs, because sometimes in your dreams they send you signs and you should, research it. Then you know what they're communicating to you. And it's basically just ourselves, our different Leos communicating with you from past lives, your past lives, or just other energies that are Leo. So you can press pause and read more about Ra, which is portrayed as a falcon, and he shared characteristics with Horus. Horus is like Sagittarius, Capricorn, December energy, but mostly Sagittarius. And this is the falcon bird. And if you're from Atlanta, so you know about the Atlanta Falcons. So there's a lot of symbology and a lot of things if you start looking around, looking and researching. And it's a fire sign, so you travel with other fire signs. Sometimes if you're fire and water, you might have someone in your dream that's a air or earth to be like a medium. So if you see like your sister, brother, cousin in your dream, you don't know why. It's because usually they're like a medium to communicate with another energy similar to that. So here's more about Ra. Press pause and read. Ra and Horus, as you see, both of them have a falcon head. This one has a pin like a bowling pin. Bowling is a ritual from Egypt. So when you bowl, you're getting that whole entire sun disk to go destroy a whole bunch of pins. Basically, it's a game to get rid of a whole bunch of ancient Egyptian deities that are in charge. Okay, part 5 next. So there's Ra and Horus, and like I said, both have falcon heads. Anubis and Horus are cousins, so Anubis is Cancer, Horus Sagittarius. So I call Horus like white baby Jesus and Anubis black baby Jesus. Horus is like December baby, so that's Jesus. His mother is Isis. Isis is married to Osiris. So Isis is a Taurus, Osiris is an Aries. They have a child named Horus Sagittarius. And then you have Anubis is a Cancer. His parents are Pisces and Scorpio, which is Nephthys and Set. So like I said, you should have your pen and papers so you could kind of get it down and understand it. The bowling pin on top of Horus's head is basically the ritual you do when you go bowling in Brunswick Bowling, which is why they got Ahmaud Arbery in, Brunswick, Georgia. That was a whole entire ritual because they're trying to do something on Earth, trying to get rid of our energy. So when you think of Toys R Us, think about Horus, think about Isis and Osiris. So Isis and Osiris got their child who's born in December, a whole bunch of toys. When you think about Hasbro, think about, Anubis making the toys for Horus. Horus is like the one that they worship, the Jesus they worship. And then Anubis is before Christ. So he's dark-skinned because he was born in July when the sun is hot. He's the leader of purgatory. So when you think about this, think about Anubis has a brother or a cousin, which is Horus. So Cancer has a Sagittarius cousin or brother, Hasbro. So they made him he's like Cinderella and the Evil Sisters, whatever. So like Hasbro gives all the toys to Toys R Us. So Anubis had to give all his toys to Horus because they never bring up Anubis. Anubis is born before Christ. He was born first. Then Horus came. So basically, this is Isis. She had a baby and with Osiris, but this is after she resurrected Osiris from the dead with her twin sister, Nephthys, which is a Pisces. So Aries is Osiris. Isis is Taurus. They had a kid, Sagittarius, Horus. Isis had a kid. Osiris was terminated by his brother-in-law, Set. Set is Pisces' husband. Pisces is Nephthys, that would be me. And basically, Pisces' husband thought that his wife slept with Osiris, so he basically terminated him. So Isis and Horus and Nephthys went and created Osiris again, like Mother Mary, and created Jesus, Horus, Sagittarius. But they didn't have a Mandingo, like I said, so they had to manifest a Mandingo, just like Mother Mary didn't have no father for Jesus, it was God. This is the other family, Nephthys, Anubis, Set. So Set terminated Osiris. Set put Osiris in a box and then chopped him up in 13 pieces, but they couldn't find the Mandingo. Part 7 of July 25th birthday. So just going to finish up your god and goddesses, which is Ra and Anubis. So Ra's family is Hathor and Ma'at. He's married to Hathor. She is a Virgo, and the Ma is a Libra. So if you're around a lot of Libras and you're around Virgos, it's because Ra is related to Virgo and Libra, Hathor and Ma'at. If you think about Ra, think about racism, because the root word of Ra, which is the sun god, is Ra, R-A, like racism. Which I always have to bring up SpongeBob, because I love SpongeBob. SpongeBob came out May 1st. May people, sometimes they are a Taurus, which is Isis. And the genetics are like crazy, because certain genes hold like memories and energy. So anybody with blue eyes are distant cousins, and with blonde hair, distant cousins. So the first like body they found from thousands of years ago was from Spain, and it was like a darker skinned African guy with blue eyes, and that's the oldest body to have blue eyes. So just imagine if your DNA held memories from your genetics, what would that sponge hold? That's why it's a sponge for SpongeBob. Now, there's Anubis, which I told you about earlier in the other videos. There's Isis and Osiris, and there's his son Horus, which I told you Isis is Taurus, Osiris is Aries, and Horus is Sagittarius. Now, I'm guessing, my best guess is that Osiris maybe and Isis, they had like blue and green eyes, then they had a child with like blue eyes, because judging on Sagittarius being, or Capricorn being born in December, which the blue birthstone is like for December, so I think of blue eyes. And for May is green birthstone, so I think of green eyes. And then April is a diamond, so that's like basically, I guess, psychics are people who see ghosts. I think people who are Aries usually could see ghosts. So Aries, Osiris, Isis, Taurus, and Horus, Sagittarius. So when Anubis was born, the Has cousin was born. I'm thinking he had like blue eyes and black hair, because dogs have black hair, and maybe he had blue eyes. And maybe he looked more like Osiris, which is why Set, Scorpio, thought that maybe wasn't his child. But with genetics, you could have two brown-eyed people having blue eyes. It's like a percentage. Like my daughter had blue eyes when she was born, but both of her parents have brown eyes, hazel and brown, but her eyes were blue, then gray, then hazel. So Horus having blue eyes and Anubis having blue eyes is like, it's something with genetics. So I think when they worship like secret societies like Skull and Bones, which worship water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, there's genetics involved in that, blue eyes and blonde hair in there.